Cassandra Chum Ampofo is my guest, and I've been asking you to send me your questions. Ask the GES. The time is now. I want to say good morning to you. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Okay, so let's talk about, first of all, you're sending some text messages as GES to BEC candidates. What exactly is that about?
Yes, good morning to your viewers. What we are talking about, every year when they select the schools, we give them opportunity to also confirm that what they have chosen is what exactly we have in our system. And so that's why we are asking them to dial *800 *25#, so that when you dial, you get a display of the schools that you choose, the 5 schools. And if it's fine, you're okay. But if there's any mistake or if it happens that the 5 schools that you choose are not what you have seen, then you have to alert your head of school, that's your JHS head, to give us a photocopy of your original choice form. And then they'll add a covering letter to it to the district director. It will be forwarded to us for us to do the correction.
Okay, so that's ongoing now.
That's ongoing, and the deadline is 15th August. It's part of the placement process.
Okay.
And all the students have to do it, both private and public.
So you're asking them to dial, and I want to write it. So please
dial *800 *25#.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a question. Ask the GES. Here's the first question. It says, kindly ask the PRO when they will start recruiting for the free SHS program. Ben from Ho is asking.
Yes, issue about recruitment. At the moment, we are not recruiting, even though we have plans of recruiting 8,872. What we are doing now is training 2 teachers each from the selected schools that will be doing the double track. We'll be using the double track calendar, and after the timetabling process, they will key in the number of teachers, the programs, and all of that to be able to identify the gap, the teachers that needs to be added to their existing teachers. Okay. So then after, we'll get to know the exact subject needs for specific schools, and then we'll be able to do the recruitment. When we start the process now, what subjects, we have no limitations. So we want them to finish with the timetabling, and then we get to know so that when we are recruiting, for example, maths teachers, 20 maths teachers for Ashanti region, we know that 2 will be going to St. Louis, 2 will be going to Opokuwari, 2 will be going to this. And so they should take their time. For now, we are not recruiting, but we are in the process.
But do we have time though?
We don't, and so that's why they are doing. I know yesterday, Peter Accra schools finished with their process, and today another group is also there with the training. So as and when, that's why we've asked them to bring everything that matters with the timetable in their school, so that we put everything on the software for them, and then we get to know the gaps. So even though we don't have time, we are very hopeful that by the time we get to the end of the large school, we would have gotten the number or the specific subject needs for each of the schools that will be doing the double track calendar, and then we will announce.
Okay. Still ask GES. This one says, ask the PRO. Didn't the minister had it wrong by saying that government got to know the new number for SHS placement in June? Because BEC registration is executed in 2 phases, and you explain the phase. Phase 1 is executed between November and January, which captures the details of pupils in Form 3, which is names, date of birth, etc. Second phase is executed in between the month of March and April, which captures the school choice and continuous assessment. You say notes from phase 1, wouldn't they have known this way back January and February 2018? Which school is sending this? Quick reaction.
I'm sure the minister talked about the setting of the paper itself, that's the June. But for the registration, we know that around April, May, we would have known the figure that's registered for the exams. And in the case of the private school, private candidates even start for the paper in February. Yeah, so the minister was talking about those who wrote the exam, not the registration itself.
Okay. But still, those who argue say that there could have been a way of having like a rough estimate, so that we will plan for this, because this is happening. Isn't this too sudden in terms of double track? We'll come to semester as well.
Yes, this is the 4th option. When you look at, I don't know whether you listen to the minister, the double track system is the 4th option of what we the ministry proposed. And you are saying it's a rush because you think between now and September. But let's not forget about the gap that we are talking about too. The 181,993. What do we do with them? Do we ask them to stay home?
So we
have a situation here.
We're here because GES failed to anticipate the number.
Not at all. Not at all. We knew the numbers. That's why we also informed the ministry. But the point is, even if we have the money, we are talking about infrastructure, completing Get Fund projects and all of that. But between now, we don't use even 3 months to build. You know it. And so between now, even if we had 3 months ahead of us, we couldn't have built all the needed infrastructure in the schools to accommodate the gap that we are looking at, the situation we find ourselves in. And so there should be, when you get to a situation, a crossroad, there should be an innovation.
I think as a parent, what I was thinking, not in terms of infrastructure, but if we knew we were going to double track, if we knew we were going to transition into a semester, then we should have prepared the minds of parents and students and even teachers way earlier than we have done. But we're here, so let's move on. How many senior high schools do we have in Ghana today?
We have 689 senior high schools.
689?
Yes.
How many out of the 689 are doing the double track?
400 schools will be doing the double track.
So why have we limited ourselves to the 400?
We looked at schools that are highly patronized by the students, oversubscribed schools. You can't place a student to a school that he or she has not chosen. And so we looked at the schools that the students have chosen more. And so these are the schools that we identified to be oversubscribed, and we feel that looking at the infrastructure or the spaces they have, already they have the second and third years in the school, they will not be able to accommodate the numbers that have registered or numbers that have chosen the school to attend, and so we would have to do a double track for them so that we get all of them on board. Double track is to increase access in the schools.
Okay, so these 400, do they know that they've been chosen to do the double track?
Yes, they know. That's why we have even told them to give us 2 teachers each to be trained for the double track timetabling software.
So the teachers being trained are mainly coming from the 400?
Exactly. We'll be training the others, the remaining 289. But for now, we are training the 400 because they will be doing the double track.
Okay.
September.
Okay. I think one of the things that we agreed you would do would be to run us through. I mean, 400 is a tall list.
It's a tall list.
But we can quickly go through some of the regions. I saw Achimota on your lists.
Yes, for Greater Accra. Yes. And then I find in no particular order. Okay. So we have Ashaman Senior High School, Ebenezer Senior High School for Fraha. We have Kimbu, Presby Boys Senior High, Usu. And then we have Presby Senior High, Teshi, Tema Senior High, Wesley Grammar. And that, so just a few for Accra. Okay. And then in the eastern region, we have Enum Presby Senior High, Abetifi Presby Senior High, Ebri Girls. We have Kibi Senior High, Koforidua Senior High, Kobo Girls, Kwawu Ridge, and then Sawam. And so let me move to the other regions. There are a number of them for Eastern here. And
is there a fixed number from each region?
Not really a fixed number. Not really a fixed number. So still in the central region, we have Adisadel College, Academy of Christ, Ascend North Senior High, Buamponsem, Cape Coast Technical Institute, and then in Fanseman Girls, Adidom, no, this is Volta, and then Commander Senior High. So let me move to the Volta region. Okay. We are just picking because I can't read all of them. Volta region, we have Awudome, Bishop Herman, Anlo, Akachi Senior High. We have EP Senior High, Peki Senior High, Mauli School, and others. And then Western region, we have Bibiani Senior High School, Fiasiman, Fijai Senior High, Ghana Senior High Technical, Hafasini Senior High, Nkrofo, Takwa Senior High, and others. And then when you come to Ashanti region, we have Agogo State, Efekobi Senior High, Asanteman Senior High, Bonri, Collins, and then we have Kumasi Technical Institute, Kumasi Wesley Girls, we have St. Louis, Opokuware, Prempe, Oseitrichi Senior High, Obuase Senior High Technical, New Edubiase, and all of that.
Is it
Yes,
not
so-
the more like
and
all
then
the schools in
BA
the regions?
No, not all the schools, not all the schools. And then for BA, we have Kintampo Senior High, Prekum Senior High, Atebubu, Methodist Senior High, and MEM Senior High School, and it moves on and on. Shidim Senior High, on and on. So we have schools in all the regions. That
So
will
this
be
covers
doing-
the 10.
This covers the 10 regions.
All right. Let me still move on to ask the GES. So Shanton in Tepa says, will the schools that will not be operating the double track go the 3 terms or the 2 semester system?
Now we are going by the semester system. And basically, you know, with the semester system, it's easy to run the double track. And so the schools that will not be on double track, they will still be. As for semester, it's permanent. Even when double track is a temporal thing, even when we revert, well, we are done with double track because we've gotten enough infrastructure, we will still be doing the semester. The 2, we have 162 teaching days for the year round, 81, then they break for vacation, another 81. So schools that will not be doing double track will be doing the semester.
Okay. Here's a message from Banzi Zakaria from Drobo in the BA region. Says, I dialed the code in order to check schools my niece has selected. 1 Ghana cedis has been deducted, but I couldn't find the schools.
Well, you should get credit on your phone
So
or
is
the
this,
mobile.
is this all networks?
Yes, it's all networks.
Okay.
And then you have to go through the mobile money also process because you also have to give the permission for the 1 cedi to be deducted.
Okay.
So I think we will have to engage him more to find out because sometimes some people also have a challenge of going through the process. And
So
when
this
they
is
come
not
and then
just
we help
dialing
them.
and finding out. This is going through mobile money.
Yes, when you dial, the first thing is to fill in your index number.
Okay.
And then you move on to ask the accounts in which you want us to pick the 1 cedi.
Okay, but his
And so-
message indicates that the 1 Ghana was deducted, but he couldn't find what he was looking for.
Oh, okay, then this is a special case. We'll look at it.
Okay.
And so maybe he should let us have the index number, and I
Okay.
would quickly check right
All
after
right.
this.
And
then
think
we'll get-
about it. If there is a special, an emergency number, think about it so that we can give it out by the close of our conversation so people can also call.
Okay.
Here's one that says, now that we're faced with infrastructure deficits, can't we turn all boarding houses into classrooms to accommodate these children? Someone is asking. I don't know if it's a question for GES. This one says, double track. How many schools are involved? Well, we've talked about it. Why are some schools not involved? Example, Achimota. Kelly from Tamale. Well, Achimota is part of it. Where we couldn't mention all the names of the schools.
The schools,
Quite a list. It's 400 schools, but Achimota is definitely part of the schools going to be practicing or doing the double track system. This one says, double track system is the best initiative for now, considering the huge number of students that will be absorbed into the free SHS policy. Kwesi Reynolds from Agona or Dobeng. I had to cut short your message. What we're doing is to take questions. So, you know, the hailing and we'll leave it for another time. This one says, will the double track use a different curriculum from those not doing the double track? Will they also write different exams? David from Mount Point is asking.
No, they are going to do the same thing. You know, it's 162 days for the year. And they are also going to have 1,134 contact hours. So whether you're doing double track or you're not doing double track, it is the same thing. It runs through. So nobody's going to be affected. We're all going to have the same number of teaching days, the same contact hours.
Okay. Here's another one that says, is it compulsory for those with aggregates 54 to be in school? The second one is, the double track. Will the teachers vacate their bungalows after their shift to accommodate the other teachers? And the third one is, will the students write same WASI? If yes, where will the rest sleep when they join their colleagues?
Okay, so let me answer the house mistresses issue. Yes, when they are on another track,
Yeah.
definitely they are not going to move.
Okay, so
because
we have it on the screen. So as you explain, people can follow.
Okay. So they will not move because already they are staying on campus. And you know that in all the schools, we have, for a particular house, we have about 3 or 2 house mistresses. And they have been managing. One is on campus. For example, if we have house 1, we have the main house mistress and then the assistant house mistress. And so with the tracking system, it's not going to be a problem. As for the person who's staying on campus, he or she is already there. You cannot move the family out and ask the person to come again after another person is off.
So same teachers will be teaching the 2 tracks?
Not same teachers. That is why we are employing, excuse me, that's why we are employing the 8,000 plus. So
are you giving them accommodation? Because that has also been
not all teachers are even staying on campus.
Okay.
Even now, not all teachers. There are some schools, you have about 20% of them staying on campus, and yet they are managing. But we would also have to find...
Not all are managing. I think in the last couple of days, we heard about some teachers who have refused. In fact, they are asking to be reposted out of, is it the Upper West region, if I'm correct? No, and I'm not asking. I'm not asking so that you react to that situation. But I'm just saying that accommodation is a problem and can be a problem.
Well, for some people in other regions, it could be a problem. But then the case you're talking about, I think it's not about the senior high school. It happened in a district where most of them are coming from the basic schools. Yes, and then we are looking at it. And so for the house mistresses issue, they are not going to
so teachers will not move out of their bungalows to make way for other teachers who will be teaching the other tracks?
No.
Okay.
No. But their assistant house mistresses will be taking over when they are done with their first track. Of course, because they are staying on campus, they also cannot just close their eyes and see that things are going wrong. They will still come in even though they are done with their track. Okay.
Yes. So the other question of, are they all writing the same WASI?
Yes, they are all writing the same WASI, because at the end of the year, after the 162 teaching days, they'll all be together, Form 3, and then they'll write the WASI. You know, previously they started WASI in February. Now we want to push it forward, because February, when they write, they have a whole term just going waste. And so now they'll be making use of that full term, the third term. And so when they get to June, we are proposing that by June, April, May, June, they'll be writing the exams, or they'll start the exams, and then everything will be fine with them. So they would all come and write without any problem.
Okay. When they're writing the exams, they're all on campus?
Yes, they are all on campus. That is it the WASI or the...
the WASI?
Yes, they are all on campus. The third years will be on campus.
Okay. So I guess the last question has to do with, where will the rest sleep when they join their colleagues? But I guess others will be on vacation.
Others will be on vacation. Yes, others will be on vacation.
Okay. Let's clarify a situation of the first years. The first years who are being double tracked.
Yes.
When they go to the second year, because we're running a semester system.
Yes.
Are they going to be double tracked there?
They'll stay in their tracks. Yes. So once we have track green and track gold, as you see on the screen, when they get to the second year, they will still remain in their tracks, so that we wouldn't have all the numbers also pushing in there.
Okay, so we're going with tracks up to, so at a point we'll have tracks even in the third year?
Yes, we have that simulation situation. We have that, and the technical instructor is seriously working on it. So by the time we get to the third year, and of course, don't remember that the double track is not a permanent thing. It's temporal. So as and when we get enough or more infrastructure in some of the schools, obviously some of the schools will also be falling off the double track. They'll be doing the semester. So basically, by the time we even get to the third year, or maybe the fourth or whatever year of the semester double track, we would have gotten the infrastructure, and then we'll move. So double track is just a temporary measure to increase the access and to control the gap that
But the way you explain it, it sounds like this is still work in progress.
No, it's not work. So now we are moving with the semester. That one, no doubt about it. And for the tracks, we know that some will be going for 41 days. They will break. Others will go in 81 days. That's the gold track would go for 81 days. And then the green would join them. In the middle of the 81 days of the green track, the yellow track or the gold track would vacate, and then the green will continue. Whilst they continue, they also break, and whilst they break or they vacate, they create space for the gold track to also come and do all their 81 teaching days. Now, at the last end, you see that in the middle of the gold track, track green would resume. So at the tail end, you have track gold and track green all in the school at the same time, and that is when they will write their end of year exams and exit the school. But you know, where whatever they made, where we have the track green and the track gold meeting at the end of the year, you realize that there's a vacation for the SHS 3 and then the SHS 2. So it means that even when the two meet on campus, the space. So at no point in time would you have congestion.
Okay. But what this also means is that when the green track is in school, or when they vacate, they have to vacate with everything they brought to school, including the chop box.
Yes, there are schools with other bigger box rooms where they would have to let the students who want to keep their trunks would keep. But where they don't have, it means that when you are vacating, just like it's not new, when we vacate, some of us, I mean, when I was in school, would pick all our trunk and our troubles. Others left them anyway. But in this case, when there's no space there, with regards to the box rooms, you'd have to take it home so that the others will come. But with some schools where they have about 4, 3, bigger box rooms, they would have a space for those who want to leave their trunks and chop boxes, and then there will be another space also for those.
Somebody wants to know when school will reopen, senior high school.
Yes, for this we are working on it, and my director general will announce this by close of this week, exactly when school will reopen, when we're going to break, and then when the tracks, all of the timelines with regards to our academic calendar will be announced by the end of this week.
Are we doing this also knowing that the West Africa Examination Council is not just for Ghana?
Oh yes,
it's for West Africa.
It's for West Africa, but at least this is also Ghana. But we can also have some talks with them and know how best it will also suit our situation.
So have we started the conversation with them?
Long time. The ministry has, GES. Director general is also the chairperson or the chairman of the WAEC board.
Okay.
And so he's always there with them, and we are looking at, so there's no problem at all. This
one says, are the private senior high schools going to do same? I think there was mentioning of that yesterday. Has there been such a communication? Are they aware that the educational system have been made on semester basis? You're talking about the private senior high schools, those that you are including. He's asking if you've made them aware that we're running the semester.
The schools that we have absorbed.
The private schools that was announced that they will be involved with the double track. You are including some private senior high schools.
Yes, we have absorbed 14 private schools this year.
So it means that they are also running the semester.
Yes, they are running. Once we have absorbed, it means that now it's for GES or it's for government. And so definitely they will also do the double track, the semester thing.
Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to read about 5 and then you address them. So that, because I have very little time left now.
Okay.
This one says, ask Madam Cassandra, I just checked the school using the code. I have been deducted the 1 Ghana cedis, but no message given. Emmanuel Nyante from Eastern Region. There was another one that came. You are the second person. This one says, I'd like to know whether those who wrote the BEC reset this year have been considered in this whole double track thing and placement. Please note it down. This one says, I'd like to know whether the semester system would also affect the basic schools. And then this one says, when are they starting employing the applicants for NAPCO? This one says, from what Cassandra just said, house masters and house mistresses will be staying on for both tracks. So why is only the headmaster taking 1/3 of the 50 Ghana cedis motivation? Seidu in Sampa, BA region. Is this something you're aware of?
1/3 of the 50 Ghana cedis?
Yes, motivation. Are you giving them 50 Ghana cedis
motivation? Yes, government is paying. We have academic interventions that when they vacate, so that they wouldn't stay at home doing nothing. We have interventions for them so that teachers who are free and will be willing to help, they would go in and teach the students. And then during weekends too, even on school campus, the weak students or the weaker students will also be helped by these teachers, and that government is paying 50 cedis per student, and we are about to release that money. We have not even started the academic year, so I'm surprised he's asking this question. Already government is paying 20 cedis as motivation fee for the teachers. Yes, that one is gone already. Okay.
Somebody asked if the BEC this semester is going to affect the basic level.
The basic, for now, we have not had any clear directive on that as GES. If definitely it's going to affect them, we'll get them.
And then somebody asked a question about those who rewrote.
Yes, they are part. They are part of the placement this year. That is why we also give them opportunity to choose. And so with this confirmation thing we are talking about, they are also to even text to confirm.
Oh, so this includes those who rewrote the papers?
Who rewrote, because they chose their schools as well. So they'll be part of the placement. Then we have put them, we are not even treating them separately. They are part of those who wrote in June.
Okay.
And so...
All right. This one says, I want to know if they're going to be in a boarding house, the double track. Ochre is asking, all double track students, are they going to be in the boarding house?
Yes, those who want to be in the boarding house, you know, when they chose their schools, they chose their residential status as well, whether you want to be a boarder or you want to be a day. And so with what you have chosen, you'll be placed. And once it is double track, it means that when one session is out, there's space in the dormitories also for the other track to also occupy. And so, yes, boarders, if you want to be a day, yes, you'll be a day.
But in the past, we've had people who couldn't go to the boarding house because we didn't have space.
Yes.
So is this making room for every person who chooses to be a boarder to be housed?
Yes, absolutely. So that's all about the double track, to increase access, to create space, to reduce congestion. And so in the past, we couldn't accommodate all of them because of space. Now we have space. And so those who would go for the second track would be in the boarding house if they have chosen to be in the boarding house. All of them? If they have. They have, because when you choose your school, it's not only about you choose your school, you choose the program you want to do in the school, and then your status, whether you want to be a day or a boarder in that school.
Okay. This one says, I'm a teacher on payroll already, but qualifies to teach at the senior high school. How do I apply? You haven't begun that process?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. This one says, and I have so many messages, I don't even know where to end it. Please tell the PRO to consider breaking the monopoly of WAEC by engaging examination body. Okay, that's not the conversation that we're having, so I'm afraid we have to move on. I want the code used for the school selection. We'll run that by you just before we rise. This one said, when you asked about accommodation, she didn't give a straight answer. The fact about GES is that they don't care. Oh, and somebody's just calling the line. They don't care about where you sleep. They just post you for your accommodation. They don't care. Kojoedu in Abetifi uses you don't care like twice. GES simply doesn't care where the teacher sleeps. They just post you.
You know, when it comes to infrastructure, where the teachers will sleep and all of that, it's a collaborative effort between GES and then the district assemblies. So in every community, we also expect that the assemblies will also provide accommodation for the teachers. You understand? And so we do that. We don't do that independently. So we are still in talks with the assemblies to provide all of that for our teachers, so that wherever we post our teachers, we ensure that they have a good place to sleep. Because when they have a sound mind, they will be able to deliver best. The ultimate responsibility of Ghana Education Service is to ensure that we provide quality education to the Ghanaian child. And this we cannot do without teachers. The way you say it
is so nice. I wish that was what was experienced on the ground, but you know. Somebody says, kindly ask my PRO whether Swedro Senior High School, Swiss School, is part of the school selected for double track system. So here's how I'm going to ask the question. Is there a place where people can see which schools would be double tracking? Have you published this?
We have not published it. In fact, this the first and the only platform I'm even mentioning this.
Okay.
Yeah, too.
All right. Because it looks like people want to know.
People want to know. And I'm mentioning it because we have asked, I had to even ask my Director General the permission first, because we have not mentioned the schools anywhere.
Okay.
This is the first platform.
All right. I'm privileged. This one says, we know with the calendar, second and third years are to go to school from 24th August. Please ask her for those schools not on the double track, when is school reopening for them, since they will also do the semester periods? Richard from Ho. This is part of what the Director General
will announce. Yes, for this, when the second and third years will reopen and when the first years will also begin.
So what it means is, forget about what you were told before going on vacation in school, because I engaged someone yesterday. He said they'll go back to school 14th September.
No.
Okay. So forget about what you've been told in the past.
Yes, we'll announce it by the end of this week. My Director General will do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This one says, I checked the placement, but no information was given. What accounts for that? So, Cassandra, I'm going to give you the opportunity.
We have not done placement yet. So people should get that clarification. It's at the point we are now, is for them to text to confirm the schools they choose.
Okay.
It is not about placement.
Okay.
It's not about, so those who have issues, I'm surprised they are saying that, because initially we had a challenge with the private because we had not filled in the private data, but we have done that and everything is running smoothly. So I'll ask them to give us their index number again, and right after this place, I'll look at it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is what we're going to do. Please give us that number that people can call if people have emergencies with the kind of questions that people are asking. I tried dialing star 800 star 25 hash. That's the number that she says you can dial on any network to cross-check the schools that you've selected with the BECE. Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Star 800 star 25 hash.
Okay.
Yeah, that is for the for the confirmation of the schools.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
this code is the approved GES USSD code.
Okay.
So they should take note.
And when you do, they would deduct an amount from you.
Yes, it's 1 city.
Okay. All right. But if you have challenges, then what number do you call?
Yeah, so if you're not very close to any of the district offices and you'd want to call straight, of course, you can get in touch. We have we have our education officers in all the districts and then at the regional level. If you can't get there, you can call this toll-free number 080 900 101. 080 900 101. Do I have to go over it again the third time? 080 900 101, and it's a toll-free number. It will get straight to the public relations unit, and then we will answer your questions, or where you want any of the offices or the units to get involved, it will be redirected.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Finally, just before we go, so we'll not have vacation classes for our kids for now? Somebody's asking.
We have academic intervention. Government is paying. Vacation classes, the parent was paying, now government is paying. But the parents also have a responsibility. So if you want a special class for your ward, then you can do it. And let me say this, Mama V, I just want to use the opportunity to also talk to our parents out there that education is a shared responsibility. Government cannot do it alone. So as a parent, you have a responsibility to provide for the needs of your child. For example, government provided school uniform, exercise books. It's a one-time thing once free SHS began. Now your ward will be going to second year. Are you telling me that if the uniform is even torn, you're waiting for government to do that? It is your responsibility. When your child comes home, you have to ensure that she stays home. She doesn't move around anywhere. So when people are arguing that double track is going to cause a lot of truancy and all of that, what is the role of the parents?
All right, we'll leave our conversation here. Maybe we should have you on schedule so we can do this more. We can ask the people to ask you and pay us some money so we can do it. Cassandra speaks for the Ghana Education Service. I hope that this session has absolutely been helpful to you as a student, as a parent, and as a stakeholder. Stay with us. We've got entertainment coming up. It's brought to us courtesy Awake Purified Water.